$1,000 per month for the next 12 months. A program just approved is doing exactly that. Yes, yet again, we have another guaranteed basic income program. Let's get into it and discuss all the details, and I want to point out something very interesting about these recently announced GBI programs that we certainly need to take note of right now. Let's get right into it. But really quickly, thank you so much for watching. My objective in this video is to bring you helpful and valuable information, so if you haven't done so yet, make sure to hit the subscribe button right down below the video, as I'm here for you each and every day as your one and only daily advocate, bringing you all the latest updates as they're being released, as well as talking through other very important information. So again, thank you so much, subscribe down below, and let's get into this right away. Alright, one quick note here. The programs I'm going to mention in this video may not pertain to everybody watching this video. However, I do want to point out some very interesting notes about these recently announced guaranteed basic income programs because it is setting the trend for what is coming in the future. It's very interesting. Alright, let's get into this right away. So the program that I'm referring to specifically in this video is the one announced out of Los Angeles. This is going to be the biggest guaranteed basic income program in the entire country. It was just approved yesterday by the city council in Los Angeles. Here's what it's going to encompass. $1,000 checks every single month for the next 12 months starting in January. Can you imagine that? That's going to be amazing. Essentially, everything that we've been asking for out of Congress for a very long time now is going to be happening in Los Angeles, California. So if you are somebody in Los Angeles, I would say you certainly probably want to look this up. Especially if you are somebody who is low income or living below the poverty line, you may just be able to grab these $1,000 checks starting in January that'll extend for the next 12 months. Applications will be opening later this week, so you might want to look into that if you are in Los Angeles, California. Let me give you a couple more details about this program, and then I want to point out some very interesting things about this program specifically and some other ones that have been recently announced and the trend that are coming out of this. It's kind of interesting looking at all this stuff. All right, let's talk through this a little bit further. So this program in Los Angeles originally started out as a $6 million program. It was a small pilot program. Started out at $6 million, but now it has gone up to a $40 million program encompassing hundreds and hundreds of families and individuals sending out these $1,000 checks for 12 months. So it's a $40 million program. Like I said earlier, it's the biggest program in the country as of right now. Okay, so that's kind of the major stuff about the program. And again, applications are opening later this week, so you might want to watch that very closely if you're in Los Angeles. Of course, I can watch that for you. If I get more details, I can let you know. All right, now let's talk through some other details about these programs that have been announced lately that we certainly need to take note of. All right, let me give you a quick little background on these GBI programs, monthly check programs. Now, I'm going to make this really quick. Just stick with me for a minute because it's all going to make sense here in just a second. So about a year and a half ago, in early 2020, there were only about 3 of these GBI programs around the entire country. There were only a couple. There were not many at all. As of right now, there are about 50 plus of these programs around the entire country. They keep popping up literally all over the place. But here's what's interesting. These programs originally started out as little tiny programs, a few $100,000, a couple $1 million at most, and they would send out monthly checks, usually about $500 to maybe 100 families. That's about it. About 100 families, maybe 200 families, that is it. They were very small pilot programs. However, as of recently, we've been seeing some massive programs rolling out. In fact, just a few months ago, we saw one coming out of the state of California, the entire state. It is funded by taxpayer dollars, $35 million. That one is across the entire state of California. Shortly thereafter, maybe 2-3 weeks after that was announced out of California, New Mexico basically said that they were looking at a statewide GBI program as well, what again would be a multi-million-dollar project in the entire state of New Mexico. Just a couple days ago, I brought you a video talking about the program out of Chicago, $31.5 million out of Chicago. Well, that would have been the biggest program in the country, but yet this one in Los Angeles is now going to be above and beyond that one. But either way, in Chicago, again, $31.5 million that is being allocated for their GBI program. Again, $500 per month, going on for, I believe that one was 2 years for those individuals. So Yeah, a lot of money again. So here's what's interesting about these programs. Originally, a year and a half ago, they started out very small, maybe $1 million, maybe 1.2, maybe $1.5 million, not much money, and they encompassed maybe 100 families, maybe 200 families, not many people at all. These programs are getting bigger and bigger as we go. $31.5 million, $35 million, $40 million, statewide programs. Here's what I'm saying about all this. These programs continue to get bigger and bigger. They originally started out very small and only encompassing a little small group of people, a small handful of people. As you can see, now these programs are encompassing hundreds and hundreds of people, maybe even thousands of people in some instances. Can you see the trend that this is leaning toward? It's getting to be these big, ubiquitous programs that are encompassing a lot of people. Can you see where this is headed? I mean, it's obvious where this is going. They're going to be on the big statewide level before long. I mean, we've already seen it on the California level. California, the statewide program. New Mexico announced it shortly thereafter. We've also seen the nationwide program out of the representative over the summer, where she introduced $1,200 every single month on a nationwide level for lower income individuals, where she was identifying $75,000 as being low income. So my point is, I wanted to point this out simply because watching these programs continue to pop up month over month, I mean, realistically, it's been week over week. I mean, every single week, I'm back with you every single week saying, here are the latest guaranteed basic income programs. I was just out, I think 2 days ago with a video saying, check this out. Here's a couple more programs popping up. I talked about the one out of Chicago and that one out of Montgomery County in Maryland. Those are the latest two that I talked about in my last video just a couple days ago, or maybe it was even yesterday. But either way, these programs continue to get bigger and bigger. So watching all of these programs progress and watching how these programs continue to get bigger and bigger as we go, literally, the trend is obvious. The trend is very obvious right now where these programs are going, because these states are starting to recognize that, hey, there's a lot of people who are struggling out there right now. States are flush with cash because they just got $250 billion from the federal government, and they need to do something with that. Well, they're finding that giving it back to lower income individuals is a really good way to help stimulate the economy, because basically what they do is they take that money that they got from the federal government, they need to spend it on something, so why not give it to the lower income people? They can go out and spend it on the necessities that they need. Ultimately, it gets a multi-fold impact, right? They get the money from the federal government, they deploy it out to low-income people, where they take it out into the economy, they spend it on goods and services that they need, right? And then ultimately it flows right back into tax revenues for the state again. Therefore, it's kind of like a big full circle, multi-fold approach. Kind of see what I'm saying with all this? So it's all leaning toward literally these big GBI and UBI programs, monthly check programs for low-income individuals. I've been saying this for so long now. If you've been watching my channel for any length of time now, I guarantee you've heard me say this before. This is exactly where it's going. Statewide programs, nationwide programs. And honestly, they're coming faster than we probably realize, right? Because all of these states have the money, right? They have the money. They've got to do something with it. They need to spend the funds. They can't just sit on all this money from the federal government. That is not within the rules. Within the rules from the federal government, it does not say you can stash all your money and sit on it forever. They did not say that in the rules. The rules basically say you've got to spend the money, and that's what they're doing with it, right? So kind of interesting to see the progression of these programs and how they keep getting bigger and bigger and bigger. It's like giving Christmas gifts, right? Everybody tries to give a bigger and more expensive gift. Have you ever been in one of those circles? It's not a fun thing to do, especially if you're somebody who can't keep up. It's not a fun situation, right? And that's kind of what the states are doing. It's like, hey, I'm going to go bigger. I'm going to go bigger and better. Well, in these situations, when it comes to these GBI programs, I would say, hey, states, do it. Challenge each other. See who can go bigger and better. Seriously, because ultimately it's going to impact and it's going to flow back to low-income individuals at the end of the day, and it's going to help out low-income people. So I would say, hey, states, go for it. Go bigger and go better, right? Because that would be a really good thing for low-income people, because it'd just be more money in your pocket. So this is pretty exciting to see the trajectory of this whole thing, because realistically, a year and a half ago, these programs almost didn't even exist. It was actually in late 2019, the first guaranteed basic income program actually popped up. So it was almost 2 years ago, actually. The first guaranteed basic income program popped up in Stockton, California. From there, the rest is history. These programs are all over the place right now, and I guarantee you there will be many, many more coming down the road here. It's only a matter of time. I think it was yesterday I released that other video talking about the other programs popped up, but I said in that video, watch this. I mean, I guarantee you, within the next few days here, within the next week and a half, 2 weeks, there will be more of these programs announced. It's almost every single week I see more of these programs popping up, and I imagine it's going to be the same exact thing going forward here through the rest of this year, all through next year, and I think the speed at which these programs continue to pop up will continue to intensify because they get the money. They're seeing the popularity behind these programs. These programs are becoming very, very popular, and they're seeing the success from these programs. They send the money out. It's a no strings attached payment to these low-income people, and they start to see, hey, wow, this is turning around the lives of millions of people. As we send out these payments to the people, they're spending it on things that they actually need, and it's making their standard of living way, way better. This is exciting, right? So it's kind of achieving the whole goal behind what they want to achieve with these programs, and people all across the country right now are starting to see the effects of these programs and saying, hey, we want a little bit of that in our state. We want a little bit of that in our counties. We want a little bit of that in our cities. So they start rolling these programs out. Kind of cool. It's kind of exciting to see all this going on, especially for low-income people who would be eligible for all of this money, right? So anyway, hope this helps you out. Again, I wanted to point that out because this is actually pretty exciting to see where these programs are actually headed. But either way, if you are in California, if you're in Los Angeles, I would highly recommend watch this program as applications will be opening up later this week. I believe the program is called Big Leap. When I was looking into it, I saw that keep coming up. I think it's called Big Leap when I'm saying Big L-E-A-P, Leap. Yeah, so anyway, check that out if you're in Los Angeles. You might want to grab that $1,000 every single month starting in January for 1 year. $12,000. Not bad, right? That'd be pretty exciting. So anyway, hope this helps you out. Again, hit that subscribe button right down below the video. I'm here for you every single day. I do tons of research on this stuff. I boil it all down into these short videos, and I do whatever I possibly can to bring you the most value in the shortest period of time, even though sometimes I do get carried away and I talk too much. I get it. I understand that, but I apologize. I try to do my best to keep it short and sweet, bring you the information, and then get out of here so that you can get on with your day and enjoy your time. So again, thank you so much. I really do appreciate it. Subscribe down below. Please remember, I'm here to help you out in any way that I can each and every day. Leave your comments or questions down below. I'll do whatever I can to answer them. If not, I'll come back and make a dedicated video if I see a common question coming up multiple different times. So again, enjoy your day. Thanks again for your support. I'll catch you again later in the next